Good evening, everyone. This is Joel Geier with the Badger Beer Report. And you normally see me a couple Tuesdays a month when we come in here for the Brewery Report, but tonight we have a special updated edition as we are here to report on what will soon be Wisconsin's newest craft brewery, as we have some big news coming out of Seymour. A week from Friday on July 17th, Dairy-Air Brewing is officially going to be hosting their grand opening. There's going to be a lot going on, which you will hear about more very soon. And to kind of give us the whole inside scoop on not only what is going to be happening, but what has happened leading up into this point is the man behind Dairy-Air himself, Tad Edges. So, Tad, first of all, thank you so much for joining me. I'm really excited to hear more about Dairy-Air and what you have all been able to kind of go through. But I guess, first of all, make sure to introduce yourself, make sure everybody knows exactly who you are with Dairy-Air. Obviously, you know, you're kind of running the whole show, but just introduce yourself and then kind of lead us into what is happening next week at Dairy-Air.
Yeah, sure thing. So, Tad Edges, I am the founder and owner of Dairy-Air Brewing, along with my wife. So, next week, I have a soft opening plan for Tuesday. That's founding members, friends, family, and people I invite. And then on Friday at 3, we're doing the ribbon cutting. 6 to 8, we're going to have live music on the patio. And then we also have a food truck coming. We have Taco Tones. He's pretty well known in this area, well connected. So, like, once you're networking in the industry and stuff, like, you try to help others out as well. So, giving him a spot, and it also alleviates a little pressure off the kitchen that I have to run. Like, we have a
Yeah.
So like you said, I'm not really a one-man show. I do have a good support system, and like I have friends and family that are coming to help as well. But organizing everything, planning everything, a lot of it's on me. And could I delegate stuff? Yeah, I could, but it's sometimes just easier to do it yourself. And it just goes faster.
Yeah. Well, and so you have, like you said, so a week from Friday, you have this big opening. This has obviously been a long process for you. What has this process been like? Because I know we talked about before we went on here, I forget when the actual date was that you closed on the building, but this whole Dairy-Air project spans all the way back. You had a Facebook page with what is now still your current logo going all the way back to 2019. So this has obviously been a dream. This is something that you've been working towards. What has this last year or two and even beyond that been like for you?
So in 2019, I was on it's called a Valve project with MicroStark. It was a keg company for Molson coolers, and I had to go to Colorado and do all that. And then like our free time, we just kind of got to hang out and do stuff. So I fell in love with like the craft beer scene out there. Like,
it's hard not to.
Yeah, it's hands down one of the best craft. Like, you can walk out of one brewery and into another. And it's like, I've went to some of the best breweries I've been to. Like, we went to Left Hand, we went to Avery. If you haven't been to Avery, shout out to those guys. Their entire staff knows everything about their place, which is great. And that kind of like molded me into what I want. I'm like, I want staff that knows everything about my business. Like, and it like all those like little things just kind of build up. And like, I was already homebrewing. And then just sitting in the hotel room, I'm like, man, this is boring. And I had my laptop. I'm like, I'm just going to build. It was honestly like just building a homebrew website for myself. Like I had started a bunch of Facebook pages and stuff like prior, like what was it? Like Homebrew Network or something like that. And then like, I'm like, yeah, whatever. I just started a brand. So I came across this cow logo that was all crazy faded and whatnot. And like, I'm like, that's cool. And it wasn't trademarked or anything. So I kind of adopted that and came up with a name that Wisconsin. And like just sitting there, like I literally sat there probably like 2 hours trying to think of a name and like what does Wisconsin mean? Like what means home to Wisconsin? Like, so if you go on a trip somewhere, say you're gone for a week, and then you come back and you smell basically cow crap, right? You're home, right? You know you're within 3 hours of probably being home. That's Dairy-Air. That you're home. It's that homey feeling, like, and that's what I want people to come in and be like, oh, this is kind of like a farmhouse feel. Like I'm at my grandparents' house or whatever, like that's the feeling I want to like kind of bring to the industry and stuff as well. Like more friendship, more collaboration stuff, and just kind of take it in that direction. Um, so after 2019, I came like after I was done with that project, we started just hitting home brewing hard, developing recipes. We seriously brewed the same beer, like this beer, the Dairy-Air
Yeah.
Amber. The Amber, we brewed it like 10 times and dumped it just because like it wasn't to our standards. Like I don't like raisin in an Amber. Like most of them have that, and I get it. But typically, I like caramel and toffee, and like we kind of like stemmed off of this. Like this is like our pride and joy, and I was like, oh, we're brewing good beer again. Like so, like I started out in an apartment in Howard, Wisconsin. The water was totally different than in Green Bay. So it's like, man, just that learning curve is like, why am I brewing crap beer? What's going on? And then you just start using RO and you start learning and developing, and it's like a whole line of stuff that just kind of gets you to where you are. And it's like, well, I still have this brand that I'm working, and I had to start growing that and figuring that out. So it's like, well, what can I do? I have a buddy, he's my real estate guy as well, and he hosts this tailgate over at the stadium every year. And I'm like, hey, I'll bring beer. And it's all for donations. So like we just started doing that a couple years, and like we raised what, like $2,000 the first year and then $4,000 the next year for special needs gym. And I'm like, this is pretty cool. This is good. We're getting bigger and bigger. And like I'm like, well, I kept looking at different ways to like get a bigger system cheap. Like I like to DIY a lot of stuff. Like most brewers probably DIY their entire homebrew setup to have like a decent size one. So like investing in it, like I didn't want to spend a lot of money in it. Like you're making beer. Like there's a lot of stuff where people are like, oh, you need the top notch this, top notch that to produce good beer. Like think back in the day, it was created from sourdough. Like you can create good beer on a cheap budget. And that's basically what this is. It takes a lot of labor, like hundreds of hours of labor, like I did, but you got to be crazy enough to do it, and you got to want it. And that's where I'm at. Like my cousin and I started hitting it hard, and like we learned a lot. And he was actually a lot of the brains behind learning and brewing and stuff. And yeah, we just kind of went from there and built the brand up, and here we are.
Yeah.
A week away from opening, finally.
I know it's been, I know when I was texting with you, I mentioned that as someone that's been following you here, I know that this has been a long time coming and something that I'm sure you have had to push off longer than what you initially really wanted to. You mentioned already, the beer there that you're drinking. Overall, what can people expect from Dairy-Air beer, both here early on, grand opening, but then also long-term as well, as, you kind of more establish yourself and get into the rhythm?
Yeah. So we have 12 taps, every single one of them, which is crazy that I was able to figure out how to do this in such a short time. So like once we got approved, I'm like, all right, we got to hit it hard and figure out what we're going to do. I have 7 beers, and then the rest are basically seltzer-based items that I kind of made. So we have an amber cream ale, a smash beer. The smash is just our test beer. I want like a lot of people would dump it, but it's not crazy horrible. Like you can drink it, it's tolerable. I want people to know like where we came from, like the first brew we actually did. So that's on tap. Like you're gonna see the mistakes that there were and everything, and what developed and how it came in with it. Like I'm an open book. I don't like hiding stuff like that. Like not every brew is gonna be perfect ever. And like for the first brew to actually turn out the way it did with all the hiccups and like everything, I'll put it on tap. But yeah, and then we have some seltzer-based stuff. So we're gonna have hard lemonade, hard tea, and then hard seltzer. But our seltzer flavoring, we're just using like Monin sugar freeze and the Skinny Girl sugar free, so that it adds a lot of options. like people like variety. And if you don't offer variety, they're going to lose interest real quick. So we can always change those flavors out whenever we want. So like starting out, I think we have like, can't really see what they are. I know we have like Bomb Pop. We have raspberry. We got a bunch of different flavors and stuff. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We got like 8 different flavors for seltzers. And then we also have like, not everybody's a beer drinker. So you got your teas and your lemonades. And like, there's definitely options to keep people here. We actually have a hop water.
Oh, yeah.
So like you got your NA option. And then we brewed a house root beer.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So like when I was homebrewing, I used to be like just crazy, like, oh, cheap kegs, I'm going to buy them all. So I had all these soda kegs, and like the system I have, like all the holding tanks. So we have 9 holding tanks. All those holding tanks are basically set up like homebrew keg setup, like the soda kegs. So I was like, why wouldn't I just use my soda kegs for this stuff too? So we made root beer, and that's the only thing that goes in those kegs. And I have commercial kegs and stuff, and eventually we'll start doing a little distro here and there. But to start out, our main, like year one, we're gonna focus on like predominantly 100% tap room,
Mm-hmm.
and like that's where most money's made for brewers and all that stuff is like. So we're gonna have to pair that with entertainment and our food. Like, so I love culinary. Like that's kind of my background. I'm not trained in it. I'm self-taught. Like I watch all kinds of cooking shows. It's ridiculous. And I'm like, oh, I could pair this with a beer. I could do this with a beer. Like, so you get those flavor combinations and like you learn to pair stuff and like make stuff and like you can add that into your beer game as well, like your flavor profiles and whatnot. So like different like strawberry basil, just that's a generic one, but like so you can make like a cold salad with that, but you can also make a beer with that because the flavors work. And like that's kind of the approach I take when I make beers. Like, what can I pair this with that I'm gonna have in my kitchen? So we have a full, like we have a pizza menu with like 6 or 7 signature pizzas, and then we have a build your own. So it's like all that stuff like kind of just ties together, and like that's what I created. It's like a pizza joint with beer that pairs well with it, and then like we were talking before we went live is like the lack of social areas in Seymour was like one of the reasons I kind of picked this area, along with like as much development that's happening, like 50 acres of residential. That's huge. Like you're gonna double this population. They're all apartments and condos, so it's like this population out here is gonna grow pretty quick. And like to be the first, we're making history. Honestly, we're the first brewery in Seymour. Yeah. So it's like pretty cool to be part of that. And like, so I tried multiple municipalities to start, and they were all just not great to work with. Like, couldn't get replies, couldn't get anything, and it was just super hard to like try to move forward with stuff. I'm like, I'm looking at all these properties, like, why? Like, are you on board or are you not? Like, you don't want a brewery in your area, you just let me know. Don't beat around the bush. Like, I don't want to waste your time or my time. Like, and then Seymour, I called them. I had answers within the first probably 8 hours of the phone call. They called me back. They're like, hey, this is what we got. We don't have any liquor license. I'm like, all right, well, that's an obstacle. But then the more I looked into it, breweries don't need them. And it was a big learning curve on the steps in the process of how to get this thing off the ground and like what we had to do. Like, I'm not a lawyer by any means, but if I can go through all the legal stuff and figure it out, I'm pretty sure almost anybody can.
Yeah.
Like it's, if you just sit there and read the stuff and like call the people you need to call, like TTB and Department of Revenue, those people, like everybody's like, oh, they're just a pain to work with. They're really not. If you call them, they'll sit on the phone. Like I sat on the phone last month, probably a half hour with one of the people at Department of Revenue is just trying to figure things out. Like everybody wants to see is to see, like, and then like inspections and stuff. So I already had the culinary background, so I know what the health department expects. I know all that good stuff just because I've worked in it before and I managed it. So I was the the general manager at Legends Brewhouse and Eatery, and that's the system I have, honestly. The one that I kind of watch people use or watch the guy use. So it's pretty cool to have that. I do plan to upgrade at least maybe parts of the mash tun, just because it's kind of a pain. Like maybe a new false bottom or just a new mash tun would be nice. Because there's a lot of like hiccups with it that I have to work through, and extra filters and extra cleaning and all. There's a lot of stuff that just goes into the process that I could eliminate and make my brew day probably half.
Yeah.
So it's like stuff like that'll get updated, but like a lot of like what I have going on is going to be here for a little bit. The patio, honest to God, I put that together in a weekend. It wasn't in the budget this year. It 100% was not in my budget. So good old Facebook. I just stayed on it all Memorial Weekend, started picking everything up that I could that was cheap, and I threw something together so we have a patio.
Yeah. And you talked about, obviously your relationship now that is continuing to grow with Seymour. And for people that are maybe, need a refresher, and not everybody in the state knows where every single town is, just so that we are clear, Seymour there you can see on the map is just a little ways basically due west of Green Bay. And this is a smaller town, obviously. And we've talked about how, just in last year and also some this year, that we have seen several of the breweries that are coming into these smaller towns. And so you talked about how, comparing it with other municipalities and how that relationship has gone. What has the response been now that, from the Seymour community as you have approached this finish line? And then the other part of that is how do you kind of expect to really ingrain yourself in the community overall?
So like, I know their 4-H program out here is big, and like I grew up with like my grandpa had like a family farm and stuff, so I understand the farming community, and it's like I want to give back to like the FFAs and like stuff. Like there's Fallen Timbers up in Black Creek that like they did like when I was younger. I don't know if they do it anymore, but I want to get back involved with stuff like that. They give back to the waterway and all that good stuff, and it's like that's the type of stuff I want to start doing. And then like obviously being a veteran, like I want to give back to that stuff and like the local veterans here. We have Burger Days, like possibly get involved with that. Like that's a huge festival in August, which I haven't really talked to any of the people that put that on yet. It's just being in the community and doing good. It like you don't have to be super extravagant and do a bunch of crazy big things. Like just hosting small events, like allowing other vendors to come in. Like I don't plan on like really charging for like I know a lot of people do like these like pop-up markets and stuff, like but they charge their vendors. Like why? They're bringing people to you. Why would you charge them? I'm not doing that. I'm gonna help the little guy out. I was the little guy. I started a food truck like years ago and hated how that worked because nobody wants to work with the little guys. Like, well, now that I hopefully have a platform where I can help little guys, I'm going to help grow that, because in business, like, why do you got to keep it all to yourself? You know what I mean? Like, let's collaborate and be like, bring the community together and stuff. So like all these other businesses, I plan on hopefully doing stuff with them. Like, so if you look at one of the breweries that I enjoy is Pet Skull, especially with his monthly like business. He does a business brew or whatever. Like that's some stuff I'd like to get going out here. Like all these small little shops and stuff. Like, hey, let's do a collab. Like we got coffee shops. How hard would that be to put coffee in a porter or something? Or like they're just start bringing the community together is honestly like one of my big goals. And then I want to be known at the racetrack, like not like I don't want to be like the face at the racetrack. I go there, everybody knows me. That's not what I want. Like I want to like get involved with it and like do some different events down there. Like so there's so many like craft beer festivals and stuff that you could do and make bigger and better or do stuff like I couldn't Seymour do that. We got a racetrack. There's a fairgrounds right here, like one of the bigger fairgrounds too. So it's like all that stuff like builds community together. And like if you host that, just the local community is going to come to these events. There's something going on in their area. So it's just organizing stuff and getting stuff going that I feel like there's a lot of, I'm not knocking any business in the Seymour area, but I think there's a lot of like old school business people out here that are like, they've done their business. Like, you know what I mean? Like they've had this town on their back for how long now? And now there's a wave of like younger generation coming in for business owners and stuff that want to do bigger and better things in Seymour. So it's definitely building that community is like, it's one of the main focus in the thing other than good beer and good pizza.
Mm-hmm. Well, and one other thing I wanted to touch on before, we kind of wrap everything into a nice little bow here is I did want to go back. You talked about kind of your home brewing background, and obviously that was something that you did for many, many years. I know you won some contests, with home brewing, and that obviously led you to where you are now, opening the brewery. And so what I wanted to ask was, do you have any advice for home brewers that whether or not they're looking at going pro at some point, like you did, where, they're opening their own brewery, but what advice for home brewers would you have in general if they are looking to, maybe take the next step in competitions, or if they are looking to, start to brew on a more industrial size scale?
So,
and it can also just be run away. I mean, because it is, I guess the big thing can also be, it's a lot of work, and I think we all know that, but I was just curious if you had any advice for people that may be trying to follow a similar path.
If you're gonna do it, if you're gonna make the move to go commercial, do it for the love of the craft and what good you can do with it, because it'll drive you a lot further than like money. Money's not like, do I like money? Who doesn't? But that's not why I do it. Like, you got to do it for the passion. You got to do it for good reasons. Like, I don't need any extra money that comes with this. I'm doing it because I got a bigger goal in mind. So if you set your goal bigger, you're going to at least come to that spot where you can make some money. But like, you're going to do more good. Like, the more good you do, the more your following is going to be receptive to you. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to have, like, I've been talking to people from Chicago and stuff that I'm doing something good that I want to do in a community. Like, and that's why I'm doing this. It's not because I want to I do like good beer. I like to drink good beer. Everybody likes good beer, but that's not the whole reason I do it. It's because I want to do good in the community. That's like a lot of business owners, though. Like, they don't just start it because it's their only passion. No, they do a lot of good in the area too. So like, set your goals high, and if you come up short, don't let it discourage you. Like, I don't know, like it's such a roller coaster ride trying to start a business, like, and learn everything. Like, it's easy if you have the money to do it already. When you don't have money and you're making the American dream really happen in front of your eyes, and people are seeing it and noticing it, hey, it's not dead. The American dream's still here. It's just how dedicated are you to actually get off your butt and go work for it. So like, set your goals high and try to meet it all. You're not going to meet every expectation set of you. Nothing's ever going to be perfect. So like, when I started, like, every little detail, like, I was stressing myself out before I could even do anything. Like, it's like, oh, this has got to be perfect. This has got to be perfect. And then like, talking to some of my buddies and stuff that are already business owners, like, it's not always going to be perfect, man. Just go for it. Like, people are either going to enjoy it or not. You're not going to please everybody. So it's just a lot of learning stuff and learn it. Like, if you really want to get into something, even whether it's craft beer or any industry, you really got to like sit down and talk to yourself and be like, am I really cut out for this? There's a lot of long nights, long days by yourself, which I have no problem with that. I enjoy working by myself and doing stuff and getting stuff done. And it's just, I don't know. That's basically what I got is like,
yeah,
goals high and kind of go for it, man. Like,
well, and it is. I mean,
don't,
that's one of the things I think, especially now with the way the market, in terms of craft breweries, this isn't 2009 anymore. Is that this is no longer just making beer means that you're successful. Like there's a lot more that goes into it because it is running it is a business first and foremost. Like making great beer is obviously a big part of that equation, but there's a lot more that goes into it than just what you are, serving out of your tank. So I completely agree with that. And I also just wanted to, again, talking about this next week and obviously what it all means to you to get these doors open. What would be I think you mentioned the amber as one of like, your staples and everything. Is there another beer that people should like make sure if they are coming next week, is there a beer that you want? If you could have everybody try one beer, what would you have it be?
I don't know if it'll be there for the grand opening because of the soft opening.
Yeah, that's true.
I didn't make a lot of it. It was kind of just the extra sour beer that I had. So there's a Mutang. It's a sour ale.
Yeah.
It's a Tang sour ale.
Okay.
Pretty good. If that's
yeah,
definitely.
Are you gonna like if people, so obviously coming in, are people going to be able to expect to see beers like kind of rotate back through? Are you going to be looking at doing eventual flagships? Obviously, I know like early on, especially, I know a lot of breweries kind of, work and tweak different recipes and are finding out what the community all likes and what, they have styles and everything. But what is your overall approach? Will people like, for instance, if this, this Tang beer is really popular, can we expect to see it come back through again on the tap lines at some point?
I would imagine. So I was supposed to do like a hayloft series because what happens in the hayloft, you experiment, you get it, like the whole farming stuff. But we were supposed to rotate through sours. Like I was going to do a bunch of small, just like flavor them in the keg or whatever sours and just rotate them through as much as I can, just 1 or 2 kegs at a time. But when you put the labor into that and all that stuff, it's easier to just brew a big batch and just send it. So we have I'm calling it plum vanilla. It's plum vanilla sour that'll be on right after the Tang runs out.
Yeah.
So like the sour, the porters, and possibly the stouts, I plan on doing like smaller flavor runs, not so much smaller runs, but flavor them differently because they'll be in kegs and stuff. So I'll flavor them all differently and keep that variety there. And just when I run through, like, so those are kind of like your seasonal beers, like I don't want to drink a stout in 100-degree weather. I'd rather drink a sour. So summer we'll do sours. Fall, working in the winter, we'll do our porter series and stuff, and then we'll start going stouts in the winter months, and that way it just kind of keeps things interesting. Like one thing I've noticed is people just love variety and love change and like trying new stuff. Like if you just have a stout on tap and you brewed a whole 5-barrel batch of one flavor, is that really gonna go that fast? No. Like if you keep it creative and like that's where the culinary comes in. Like people are going to want to come in and be like, oh, that's cool. Like, let's try this. Let's do this. There's a lot of different things that like, you can do to flavor beers and stuff.
Yeah. Well, and Tad, I really appreciate you joining me. I know that myself and the rest of Badger Beer Report, we're very excited for you here to join the class of 2026. And before we, kind of hop off and go here, obviously, a lot of folks have kind of joined partway through here and we've had the ticker kind of going across the bottom with information, but I'd like you to, if you could, from what you talked about at the beginning, just kind of run down what next week is all good, what is all happening next week for Dairy-Air, what people can expect, all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah. So Tuesday, we're doing our soft opening, family, friends, and whoever we invite, something kind of small, just kind of work out the kinks. Like I'm one of those people that don't like to like look like a fool. Like if I don't have to,
yeah,
most people are that way. So we're going to try to work out kinks with family, friends, and people that actually we talk to. So, which I have thick skin. So if they want to give it to me brutal, just tell me everything sucks. Cool. Thanks. No hard work went into it at all, I promise. But then Friday at 3, we're going to do a ribbon cutting. I'm still working with the city. I don't know if they're going to get involved with it. I know they love to do ribbon cuttings out here. They got the Seymour Business League. I called them. They're going to be getting back to me tomorrow to organize the rest of that. But either way, I'll have my own ribbon if I have to. I have somebody actually making all that stuff for it. So it's going to be a pretty cool ribbon cutting and grand opening. So 3, and then the follow right after that, we're serving beer, food. 6 to 8, we're going to have live music. We're also going to have Taco Tone's food truck behind the patio stage. So if anybody wants to eat off his truck, he's a cool dude, works his butt off too. And that's kind of what I'm about. Like, what I'm trying to do is help the small guys grow, just like I had to do myself. So, yeah. And then after that, we're probably going to be our hours. I'm thinking right now we're probably going to be closed Monday, Tuesdays, just so we have time to brew and do stuff and work out stuff and maybe take a break to myself since I haven't had one for a year and a half.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's what I was going to ask you, because obviously, like I said, you're going to be setting hours, things may get tweaked. You'll have new beers and everything. Where is the best place for people to follow along with Dairy-Air to get updates?
Definitely Facebook.
Okay.
I'm not huge on social media. Like, Facebook is the easiest for me. Eventually, we will grow into other social media if we get big enough so I can hire somebody. Because, one, I don't like IG. I don't like all those.
Yeah, I get it.
I'm just not a fan of them. Like, Facebook is super easy. I just post it there and people share. So it's great. But other than that, yeah, like we'll have we are working on the website and all that stuff, so you can go there as well once we're up. If you got questions or anything, we do have a phone number I'll be posting later this week, so you can always call. Yeah, that's pretty much email.
Yeah.
So
well,
email, phone, and Facebook are the 3 dominant ones for me.
Perfect. Well, Tad, again, I appreciate you joining me and sharing the amazing news of Dairy-Air's grand opening, which again is going to be a week from Friday on the 17th at 3 p.m. Make sure that you follow Dairy-Air Facebook, and otherwise I'm sure we will be sharing all of those updates as well as the Badger Beer Report. So get up to Seymour. I know Greg and or myself will hopefully get up there here before, too many more months after that. So I'm sure this is not the last that you will see of Tad on the Badger Beer Report screen. But yeah, again, as always, whether it is where you are living or where you are visiting, be sure to drink local everywhere. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.